How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. I know it's been a minute. It was down just over 4% on the day. So many are telling me, Dre, have you been seeing the dip? Is now the time to buy? Should I be looking at taking a position? We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on FinTel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $13.27, being down 4.33%. On the low, it tested $13.24, and then on the high, testing $14.24. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 7.813 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 8.015 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, and we've seen a bit of weakness in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 33.72. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we're below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that ChargePoint is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. So it has been witnessing a good amount of selling pressure, just like many other growth stocks. We ended up seeing a low at $13.24. So many are asking, hey, is it over? And I look at it like this. If you're a long-term investor looking to get into a position, this pullback is great to see. So the next area of support that I want to see actually hold up if we continue to have weakness in the markets is right here around $12.45. If we break through $12.45, then the next level that you want to keep an eye on will be right here around $11.68. And if we break through $11.68, hey, I don't mind loading up on shares for ChargePoint while it's trading in the $10 range. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not on that one. If you're looking for a reversal now, you want to see a bullish move out of this play. We ended up seeing a high at $14.24. So most preferably, you're going to want ChargePoint having some price action above $15 and at least get to the 21-day EMA at $15.91. So hey, just very close to $16. That is a lot to ask with the current market conditions that we are in. And taking a look at the recent price action, it has consistently been forming lower lows. So again, it's not looking the greatest. It's looking very bearish, but at least you know what you want to look for if you want a bullish move out of this play. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for ChargePoint. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings here, we have for the April the 27th, we have Key Financial Inc. that closed out their position. We also have World Energy Fund Institutional that closed out their position. And we also have DuPont Capital Management Corp. that closed out their position as well. But as far as some new positions, we have here for the 26th of GFG Capital LLC that purchased 13,200 shares. You can see there have been a lot of adjustments for the 27th, and we have a combination of institutions actually reducing their positions. So that's just one thing you want to be aware of, but not surprised about that either. But at least we have Perennial Advisors LLC. Looks like they increased that by 3.98%. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 72.62%, and the off-exchange short volume is just over 2.14 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.9 million, updated 26 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow-free rate, it is at 1.12%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 25th, it is at 60.84. And then for the close of the 26th, being at 70 72.62. And one thing that we could see when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 14.30%, I must say, yes, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential, but keep in mind, this is a play that needs to see a lot of buying volume before we see strong moves in price action. So I wouldn't say necessarily that you want to look forward to seeing a big spike within a short period of time. We know it's when ChargePoint starts moving, it is fairly a slow to medium sized mover. It doesn't do big jumps. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we see on the inflows at 10.53 million, and then on the outflows at 11.31 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 6.68, and then on the small it was 3.85 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 7.16, and then on the small it was 4.15. Keep in mind these numbers are broken down in the millions, and they contribute to the totals that you see for the inflow and as well as for the overall outflow. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, April the 27th, it was 0. We also saw this on the 26th and as well as for the 25th, but we did have an inflow day on the 22nd, which was just over 111,000. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had 0 on both sides. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.35%. So this is not too bad for a growth stock like ChargePoint. It has been selling off quite a bit, just like the rest of the market. So knowing this, that's why you're going to be seeing some more volatility. You're going to see the price continuing to go down until we have a reversal in regards to the tech sector. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, when it comes to the price action, we ended up seeing a low of $13.24. If this level breaks, we can easily get down to the mid $12 area. So that's one thing you want to be aware of. And if we break through that level, then we can see ChargePoint getting to $11. And you know, I would love to load a boat some more right in the $10 range as well. But that's why I want to make sure that you guys do your homework and you do your due diligence before getting into this play and figure out whether you want to be a trader or you want to be an investor. This is very crucial because you want to be confident enough if this stock continues to pull back to add to your position if you believe in the long-term prospects. Now, as far as for the upside, if you're looking for that in the short term, then it needs to get to the 21-day EMA, which is at $15.91. So essentially wanting ChargePoint to get back to $16. Is that going to be happening for this week? You know what? I'm personally not seeing it. We did have some strong earnings that came from Facebook, but now we have to wait for earnings from Amazon and as well as for Apple. So they end up putting out some strong earnings, then I want to see the tech sector pick up. And this is where ChargePoint can gain some steam. Maybe we can get back to the $15 range. We also can't forget the fact that we have a Fed meeting for next week. And like Jerome Powell was saying in his latest meeting, that 50 basis point hike is on the table. So if he ends up following through with that, I feel that's already been priced in, and then we can look forward to seeing a potential rally in the stock. So again, add that to your homework. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions had been reducing their positions. Again, I'm not surprised. We talked about that we're going into an environment with interest rate hikes. So a lot of times they do not want to be holding these plays on the books. So we want to be aware of that. But again, if you have high conviction, this should not concern you whatsoever. The short-term price movements or what institutions are actually doing in the short term should not bother you. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential, but here's the thing. It needs a lot more buying volume coming into this play, and we know how ChargePoint is already. It's a slow mover, and when it does start moving, it does go on a strong uptrend. Part of the reasons why it is sold off quite a bit, especially when it got to the $20 range. So that's why, again, do your homework. This is so key with the current conditions that we are in. But if we decide to pull back some more and we get down to that $10 range, you already know that I'm going to be loading the boat. But if we don't get there, again, if you are thinking about taking a position, I'd highly give it some consideration because this is a strong play inside of the EV sector if you're bullish on it for the long term. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs as we come closer to the end of the week. We'll talk soon.